அடியேன். யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கொஸ்டின் இருந்ததுன்னா நீங்க கேட்க ஆரம்பிக்கலாம் சுவாமி கிட்ட. யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கா? Do you have any questions to ask? Okay. சுவாமி 2-3 questions ஃபார்ம்ல போட்டிருக்கா, அதை படிக்கிறேன் அடியேன். When archakas show the arthi after taking it for perumal to devotees, I have observed some people touch the flame and then touch their eyes. Is it appropriate for Shrivaishnavas to do so?
No, it is not appropriate.
Is it preferable to do arthi with wick and oil or using camphor? இது அடியேன் ஆல்ரெடி அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிருக்கேன் சுவாமி.
Camphor, karpura arthi, camphor arthi is there, but today camphor is only mostly chemicals. So ghee has its own adulteration. So if we can get cow ghee, well and good. If we can get original good quality camphor, that is good.
Is there any preferred direction to be followed by Shrivaishnavas for daily activities, such as facing east for prayers, studying, etc.?
Studying and all that is different. Generally, all Shubha Karyas has to be done facing the east in the normal mode. For advanced people who are practitioners, beginners, then the learned, that is experts, then the practitioners. So amongst these, for beginners, east, which is samanya dharma. Then for people at advanced level, wherever their guru is, that is the east. Wherever their home perumal is there, that is the east. Depends upon where their attachment is towards. For example, in Periyakovil, in Srirangam, no matter which Vidi you are in all the Vidis, the Tirumalagi Perumals will be facing only Ranganatha Swami. So if you are in East Vidi, then the Tirumalagi Perumal will be facing towards West, towards Ranganatha Swami. So there are two things. One is, for example, when Perumal is there in a temple, if he is facing any direction, that direction is Devadik, that is east. Whatever direction that Perumal is looking at, that is east. And for us, whenever we face that Perumal, that is east for us. What is east for Perumal is not east for us. Whatever Perumal faces, whichever direction he faces, sees, that is east. So when you do Arkyapati, Ajamniya and all those things for Perumal, you should consider whatever direction he is seeing as east. When it comes to us, for us, as we face Perumal, that is east for us. So these are all depends on the Nishtha, but common things like other Shubhakaryas, Yajnas and other things, facing the east is the most common for wearing Tiruman and other things. Second option is north. So while eating, all these things we should face east.
Again, what are the means of developing intuition so that we make proper decisions in life?
Developing intuition comes out of Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna comes in many. There are steps we have already told. It's called a sopanam. Satvika aharam, Satvika chintanam, Satvika sangham, then Satvika devata vandanam. These are the 4 steps. The aharam should be Satvikam, which means not merely Satvik food alone, that is material alone, not just Satvika dravya that we have to eat. It is Ashraya Tushtam is there. There are a lot of adulterants that you should avoid. Jati, that is the very make of that food item that we consume. There are certain things that are forbidden. You should avoid them. Then in certain cases, you should not eat. Certain times, you should not eat. And then if certain people see or touch, those things should not be consumed. Like that, there are separate ahara niyamam that is there. You have to follow that. And it should be served for perumal with utmost piety and humility. And then only it should be consumed. While consuming, you should not see the taste. You should always take it as aushadha. That's what Eramanusan used to do when he used to drink the milk of Sesha milk of Ranganatha Swami. He used to consume it as aushadha without tasting it, how it tastes and all, because it is grace. So you have to just blindly drink it, thinking it is the aushadha for the samsara vyadi. That's how you have to consume. If you taste it and say this is salty, this is sweet, it is yummy, this, that, and all, then the prasadham effect also goes off. Like that, so many things are there. That is satvika ahara. Then, if you are alone, you should always try to best spend your time only on satvika chintana. You should be reading puranas and purvacharyas, archakas, vyakhyanams, itihasams, all those things. Preferably Guruvacharya Vaibhavam is for the highest level. That is the only thing. That is the only kalakshema. Guru Parampara, Prabhava, Medindra Pranam. Those are the Shrivaishanavas, Divyasha. Those things are all the kalakshepams. But anyways, in addition to that, you can read, beginners can read Puranas, Itihasas, and all. Dharma Shastras, all those things. If you are associated with somebody, if somebody is there, it should be only Satvika Sangham. You should always associate yourself with people who are at a higher level, praying their presence and trying to get under their shadow like that. And finally, Satvika Devata Vandanam. Satvika Devata is Sriman Narayana, that is Periya Perumal, Periya Bratiyar, and the entire Guru Parampara. They are Satvika Devatas. Those who are Nityas, and those who are Muktas. Muktas means those who have gone through the Samashrena Parampara, through our Acharya Parampara. So they are the Devatas from Sene Mudaliyar till Puyilla, Manavala Mamnihal is Sishyas and Asmad Acharya. The whole Acharya hierarchy is the only Devata Parampara we should worship. Other Devatas, we have no relevance. We don't have, it's not that we shouldn't, it's not excluding them, but we don't have relevance. Like if we belong to this religion, the other religious gods, we don't have relevance. It's not that we should, disrespect them, but we don't go there. We don't go to other religious temples or churches or whatever you call it. Similarly, once you are in Shrivaishnavism, you don't go to temples of other gods because of lack of relevance. We don't have any business there. So, but don't disrespect those who are worshipping, or don't disrespect those devatas. We have nothing to say about them. That's how we have to keep it. And worship only Satvika Devata. These four things, Satvika Guna will come. Once Satvika Guna comes, why do you want to look for intuition? When Perumal himself will start taking over, let him do things naturally. You can start finding the symptoms. You will start experiencing the symptoms.
Adiyanson. When Srisatari is placed on the head, what are we supposed to say? And while taking theertha prasadam, some people are doing prokshanam on head. Is it correct?
When Srisatari dasosmiham, and because the paduka is placed on our head, nothing should happen to that paduka because of our dosha. So you should say pallandu. You should say both pallandu and dasosmi, dhanyosmi, dasosmi, kritakritosmi. So these are all the standard things that are prescribed. Regarding theertha, there are two pakshas. In Virodhi Pariharam, it says you have to, touch it in your eyes. That's what it says. But after consumption, it becomes our sesha. So we should not, after consumption, we cannot do that. Before consumption, we can do like this and then consume. But prokshanam on head, I don't think that is apt. After we have consumed, once we have consumed, it becomes our sesha. So maybe we can, if you are so particular to do the prokshanam, we can place few drops in the other hand. First consume it, then do this to purify your hand, and then touch this water and do prokshanam. If you're so particular, prokshanam is not recommended. You are already in the Sannidhi and you are getting the Tirtha, then Srisatari is on your head. Why do you need separately prokshanam?
Adiyan Swami. Kindly explain as a high school student how to develop the bhakti towards Acharya, Alvargal, Perumal.
As a high school student, as I told, Satvika Ahara, Satvika Chintana, Satvika Sangha, Satvika Devata Vandana. These are all the steps. So associate yourself with those who are already, interested in this and who can guide you, and be in touch with them. Engage yourself in, associating with them. That's the best way. Association, Satvika Sangham is the best.
Adiyan.
And of course, stop all the things that are against. Stop watching TV, stop reading comics, this, that, and all novels, all that which are not relevant for us. Read Guru Parampara. Keep reading Guru Parampara Prabhava. That's the foundation for us. The more you read Guru Acharya's Vaibhavam, it will completely cleanse us. It will trigger that bhakti, which is very natural to us.
There is one question. Balarama is in Dasavathara as incarnation of Sriman Narayana, but it is told that he is also adhisesha avatara. How to understand this?
Same as Parashurama. Parashurama is only Avesha avatara of Perumal. After the encounter with Swami Sri Ramachandra Murthy, once Parashurama's Dhanus has been taken over, then Parashurama becomes a normal rishi. So until then he was only Avesha avatara. Similarly, Balarama is avatara of adhisesha, direct avatara, sakshat adhisesha. But the Avesha of Perumal has come on him, similar to Parashurama. Except that Parashurama was a normal rishi, Perumal came, similar to Veda Vyasa, on whom Perumal came. Balarama also, Balarama was not normal rishi, but he was adhisesha, on whom Perumal's Avesha came. On Lakshmana it was not there, on Balarama it is there.
And how long was it, Swami, like for Balarama, the Avesha avatara? Avesha
is, it doesn't, there is Pravesha, Avesha, Avivesha, Sannivesha. So in certain cases it stays continuously. In certain cases it comes and appears and disappears. So rishis, they have had sakshat karma of that Avesha, so they have told that it is Avesha avatara. So we just take it. How long, how often, I don't have an answer. Maybe we have to do some research if at all some data is available.
There is another similar question. Vyasa maharishi has been told as incarnation of Sriman Narayana. Then how did he write? How he wrote other rajoguna puranas?
No, Veda Vyasa is not somebody who wrote those puranas. The puranas were created by Brahma. Brahma is the one who, in a sattvic mode, created the sattvika puranas. Rajasic mode, he created the Rajasic puranas, and Tamasic mode, he created the Tamasa puranas. So Vedavyasa only revealed them. Revelations can happen. What is wrong with that? And moreover, Vedavyasa, as I told, he was Avesha avatara. So when he did something which was beyond what a rishi could do, those things are considered to be Perumal's activity. See, it's same as Balarama only. Where whatever anybody, this is what is the stance in Vedas. You should understand that. In Veda, some places it says that Indra has done this. And it is quite evident, apparent, that Indra is not capable of doing such thing. So in that case, what our Purvacharyas have, the stance that they have taken, or the Rishi Parampara as well, the stance that they have taken is that when such things which are beyond imagination to have been done by a particular devata, then that name Indra is actually directly referring to only the Paramatma. There Indra is not actually devata. So anything that is extraordinary, it directly refers only to Paramatma and not those devatas. That's how they have taken, that's the stance they have taken in Vedas also. So where all the Vedas have been organized and many things have been revealed, there Veda Vyasa was exalted. In certain cases, he was not Vishnu's Amsam all the time. The Avesha was not there all the time. There are many incidents where he sits and he laments that I wanted to start with, describing Krishna's, Leela and other things, but I ended up writing some nonsense like, the story of all these people, Santanu and Ganga story and all. So he laments, that's when he was instructed to write Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was not, it's Aveshavata. So when extraordinary things were done, it means it is Avesha, and then they are normal Rishi. But Rishi doesn't mean he's normal like us. Rishis themselves are sages. They are mantra drashtas. They are not Paramatma. They are not in that Paramatma mood.
Again, chat lo other question potrukka. Follow up question on learning more about Guru Parampara. Is there any specific books recommended by Jeeyar Swami? Dhanurdasa.
Acharya Vaibhava Manjari is there. That's easy to learn. Guru Parampara Prabhavam Aarayirupadi. That is there. That is in Manipravalam with lot of pramanams. I would still recommend that we buy that and keep it in our Aradhana, so that one day or other you will be blessed to understand that. I think koil.org, they are translating a lot of such Purvacharyas, Vaibhavas into English and other languages. They are doing a wonderful job, I think. So Aarthi Tatadri Swami is actually doing that. It is Swami's initiative, I think. That's a good site where almost all acharyas, Vaibhavams, they are all there. It's a wonderful site to start with.
Dhanyosmi Swami.
I will type it.
Again, well, if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and or you can just post it in the chat window also. There is like one feedback question that is from the English session, Swami. That's the last question that I would like to ask.
Okay.
This was regarding people who doesn't know about Alvargal Arulichel, and they have taken this Nama Sankirtanam as tool. So I'll just read the question, Swami. Though I'm totally convinced with the answer, I consider it to those who understand pasarams that are written in Tamil. Harinama Sankirtan, or reciting Harinama that is close to your heart in Akanda, is understood widely as the only alternative in the present Kali Yuga, since all materials are polluted. This way, Krishna Chaitanya and other such saints have achieved salvation. As a Shrivaishnava, can we consider Dvaya Anushtanam in all our moves and thoughts? Anushtanam, he is asking about just chanting the Dvaya mantra.
Anusandhanam only is telling us a question. See, Nama Sankirtanam, I think we have given a separate audio on that. Just simply quoting that in some Purana, it is said Nama Kalau Sankirtya Kesam. It says Kalau Sankirtya, not Kalau Kirtya, Kirtanam, Nama Sankirtanam. I have bhakti. Okay, you have bhakti. How do you validate that? Why should I validate? Okay, don't validate, don't ask questions. Try it, nothing wrong. But if you want to know, if you want to know about the system, if you want to go with the guarantee, and that's the only way is to follow Srishtachara, which is follow what the elders have done. So which means that I will do this, I will do myself, I know that everything is polluted. Yes, everything is polluted. In this very much polluted world only, Swami Ramanujacharya, Swami Varavaramuni, they were all born. When it was not at all polluted in Krita Yuga only, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, all kind of Rakshasas were there. So, Kalau Krita Yugam Tasya Kalistasya Krita Yuge, Yasya Chaitasi Govinde, Hridaya Yasya Nachata. The moment you are into the path of Hari, you are always in Krita Yuga. But I don't feel like I am in Krita Yuga. That is because you are not into the system. There is a system that is in place. That system you have to get onboarded into that, enroll into it, follow things diligently, sincerely, dedicatedly, in a committed fashion. And when you follow that, you will get results. Definitely. But if you think that it's otherwise, I think I'm better off with my own Sankirtana, I know my God. There's nothing wrong in that. You can always try. I mean, if anybody can take that stand and nobody can question you, you don't have to answer to anyone. But if you want to know what is the system, is there a methodology? Is there a systematic approach to things? Yes, it is there. That is what is Shastras. That is what is Guru Parampara. That is what is Acharya Upadeshas. That is what is Shishtachara, all those things. We have to follow that. In that case, Alvar's Arulichel is a must. Because there is nothing better than Alvar's Arulichel. Simply we chanting, the name of Hari doesn't mean we become compatible to, say you are writing an exam, for example. And in the exam, you are saying that as long as I know the subject, I don't care. You don't care, but the teacher really cares. The teacher expects you to only write certain answers. You can say that I know this subject. I'll write it in my own words. No, you cannot. Similarly, Perumal is very clear saying that this is Perumal. You cannot say, no, where did Perumal say? Perumal has given you all these things saying, I have given you acharyas. I know that out of your own effort, you cannot attain me. Go through this path to understand who I am. I have directly come to you in so many avatars, but you are not listening. You don't understand. I am not compatible with you. So I have sent you compatible forms. So you better follow that. And when we say, no, I cannot follow it, I don't want to follow it, it is very difficult. How can Alvar's Arulichel be very difficult? It is the mindset. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Swami, yes, he attended. But how many of the followers simply did like Chaitanya or they followed what he said? Others are only following Sri Krishna Chaitanya Swami. They are not doing the same way as Krishna Chaitanya Swami. We are not saying that Perumal will give us Mayur or Madinalam and sitting somewhere under a tamarind tree. That happened for Nammalvar. Perumal does it for few souls. Only for the reason that through them, others will get transformed. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya was at a different state. You can't just say that Sri Krishna Chaitanya did like this, so I will also do like that. So they were all in exalted state. If you want to do like Sri Krishna Chaitanya, you have to be on the street. Like Meera, Gali Gali, Hari Gunu Gane Lagi. She went everywhere. She left everything. She did not care about anything. दुख लाखों सहे मुख से गोविंद कहे कोई रोके नहीं कोई टोके नहीं मेरा गोविंद गोपाल गाने लगे. She went on everywhere. Can you do like that? Can you roam on the street? If you can, yes, Nama Sankirtan, that is the real bhakti. That Alvar himself says, Maimambu Puril Guige, Mudalai Chirai Patan in the Kaimavu Kulsheda, Karmil Bol, Vanan Kandan Yamani, Shulli, Padi, Yerindum, Parandum, Tulada, Tamal, Karamam and Shulli. Alvar is exalting, is celebrating that Nama Sankirtanam and Bhajane. But for that, you should leave everything. Lajja, first thing is you should leave lajja. Second thing is nyasa. You should leave all other your attachments to your family and other things. Within family, within a small group, I will just chant because I like it. See, whatever we like, if we want to do, that is also allowed. That has limitations. That is called a swaprayojana bhakti. That swaprayojana bhakti is considered to be lower grade, not by us, not by our ancestors, but by perumal. He doesn't like swaprayojana bhakti. He likes parartha bhakti. So Alvar's bhakti is the bhakti that does not have that contamination. Maditadava suru, surunarada puvu, sunabukalavada sandanamu mire, ivarhal tandadu. So there is no such contamination called as swaprayojana. I want to enjoy. That is why I am doing bhakti. That contamination is not there in Alvar's parampara. That's pure, crystal clear. How can you not celebrate Alvars? It's very easy. Simple Tamil poems. You are talking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mostly those kirtans are all in Hindi and Bengali. This is our mother tongue. Wonderful people like Sri Rama Bharati Swami. He came and he composed raga for all 4,000 Nalaya Diviprabandham, and he has popularized it. How many people are singing it in such a wonderful way? Celebrating it. InnaruL is so beautiful to the ears, to the heart. You can sing it if you want. You can sing it as bhajana. How many bhajana goshtis they are singing InnaruL in a very beautiful fashion. Do we even see them? We have to be there in Shibirambudur and Chitrai Tiruvagre. 100 bhajana goshtis will follow Embermana behind. 100 minimum. And there are bhajana goshtis who will not sing anything on Perumal. They will sing only on Ramanuja. They won't even say Govindanama Sankirtanam. They will only utter about Ethiraja Swami. Such a wonderful, groups are all there. They are invisible to our eyes. We don't see them. We just think it is some noise. There is no raga, there is no gamakam, there is no nothing. They just beat the drums and sing with in a loud voice, and they dance, but they are the true souls. So such a sampradayam was there at Alvar times. My mom would pay the entire 10 songs are Tadikutamai Paravada. It's a beautiful 10 hymns. You have to listen to it and know it. See, going into Tatparya, esoteric meanings, that is a drilling exercise. That requires a higher level of understanding and state and transformation and other things. But it doesn't mean that beginners cannot get onboarded. So many groups are there who are teaching. Sri Rama Bharati Swami's that they call it as Devagana. That composition, they are doing it. Wonderful composition. So just try it first, to taste it, then you will know about it. It doesn't mean that we should not go to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. You can follow. Everybody has their own freedom. They can follow whatever. This is a system that we know. This is what we know to talk, and we think we don't think. We have utmost faith that this will deliver us moksha, which is pure moksha. Even in moksha, there is taratanya, kaivalya is there, so prayojana moksha is there, swartha, and all those things. So this will give you the parartha moksha, highest, which is Swarupa Prapti, where Perumal will be extremely happy. And Atyanta Seshatva Paratantriya, those Paratantriya nature will come out, and we'll be able to display, demonstrate, and do the highest level of service, which is Bhagavad Anubhava Janita Tat Preeti Karita Karya. That we will be able to deliver in that moksha. So give it a shot.
Aryan, the news, Miss Swami. If anyone has any questions, you can ask Swami.
Shreyas, any questions?
No.
Okay. Sanvi?
இங்க சுவாமி ஆக்சுவலி ஒருத்தர் போட்டிருக்காரு. அவர் வந்து என்ன இன்சைட்ஸ் ஆஃப் யாருக்கு இப்போ no one has any questions, then we can little bit of vision, more vision on Kainkaryam. They want how should we approach Kainkaryam? How should we coordinate with others on these tasks? How should charity be approached?
Charity is actually part and parcel of Sri Ramanuja Sampradaya. We keep saying this. These things should be Nirmana's two eyes. One is society, the other one is religion. Asmad Acharya Swami used to tell that religion without the social eye is blind. You cannot get yourself engaged and progress in religion without being part of the social welfare, contributing towards social welfare. Why? Because when you reach out to the society, it gives you phenomenal experiences. For example, if somebody is really struggling and you are going and helping them, the first thing that strikes me is that, say for example, if somebody does not have the ability to see, the first thing is gratitude towards the Supreme, that you have given me eyes. Somebody is struggling, their family is struggling, you have given me a family that doesn't struggle. I should be grateful to you. So as you see the turmoils in the society, you will find that your privilege that has been given to you is only to help those who are not as privileged as you. That will be your first level, to help them. Next, you will find that it is not your help that is needed, it's your duty. If you don't do it, you will be punished. So that will be the next level of transformation, which means that if you are not helping society, no matter how much close you go to God, you can do nothing. What did Alvar do? Ramalvar was sitting only under tamarind tree. What did he do for the society? The whole Arulichel was for the society only. What if he did not sing the Arulichel at all? What if he just had experience with perumal? Perumal would not have taken him. He wanted to extract that Arulichel, which will go to the society, which will reach out to the society at large. So that potential which was there in Nammalvar's Arulichel was brought out. It became a kinetic energy in the form of Swami Ramanujacharya, who executed that, who reached out to the society. But there is one thing that I want to mention here in this context. It is very, very important. It is very important to understand that this subtlety. Many people talk about this social equality of Swami Ramanujacharya, comparing it with the modern day or recent year reformers. Swami Ramanujacharya was not merely talking about social equality. His equality was much advanced. It's spiritual equality. When we talk about spiritual equality, he clearly says that you are not this body, you are Atma. That means he is not addressing only human beings. He is even addressing any living organism. Whereas the modern day reformers, they are only talking about human beings. Social equality means only across human beings as a society. But Ramanujacharya was way advanced. He was not talking about social equality. Second thing is, what is social equality? There is a man, there is a woman. They are not equal in terms of their functions, in terms of their body. We are equal only in a particular context. For example, before law, if all are equal means one person is tall, one person is short. How they are equal? In terms of your freedom of speech, right to live, right to religion, only in that context you can be equal. You can't be equal in everything. One person is very stout, the other person is lean, this person eats a lot. No, social equality, everybody should eat exactly the same quantity. That's not social equality. So social equality itself first needs to be understood properly. It is only in the context of living and coexistence. In the context of coexistence is where this so-called social equality itself is relevant. What Swami Ramanujacharya was talking about is not merely social equality, it's spiritual equality, which means that every soul is the same. If you remove this milk, the so-called theertha, you are equivalent to Sri Mahalakshmi. Kandal Karindal Narayana Uttamamavastai Pirakum. So we should not belittle Swami Ramanujacharya by saying that he raised his voice for social equality. He was talking about spiritual equality, that everybody is Atma. That means you cannot call somebody as a dog. Why is dog so bad? Why is it an abusive word? You cannot abuse somebody as a dog. Dog is a soul. It has taken that sharira. If you belittle that sharira, your sharira is also, for you dog might be bad, for Indra you might be bad, for Brahma Indra might be bad. So is it okay? That's not fair. So even Gajendra, he got moksha. An elephant, right? Even an achetana, Gadipanta's pot, that got moksha. So the equality that Swami Ramanujacharya was talking about is something beyond our thinking. Highest state of equality. So when it comes to charity, there are certain set of things that we have to remember. Charity, the very purpose of charity. Do you know why charity exists? What is the purpose of charity? The purpose of charity itself is to eradicate the need for charity. When you do this charity, you should not think that I am doing this. Why I have not done this before somebody asked? It is a shame that I am feeding somebody only after they are asking for food. Why even hunger exists? Why I am not able to preempt it? So charity has two modes. One is to fix the current problem, that is tactical, and strategical. Strategical is to eliminate the need for charity across the society, which means you develop the society in such a manner that nobody dies out of hunger, nobody dies out of nobody commits suicide, no struggling, no turmoil, nothing. That means eliminate all the evil things, all nonsense. But we are promoting all nonsense on one side. We means we the society. We can't keep blaming government. Government is us. Who's government? What is government? Government is made by us. Why do we allow liquor? Why do we allow tobacco? Why do we allow drug? Why do we allow obscene movies? In those days, those were controlled clearly. But today, under the name of freedom, you can talk anything and anything you can do. And then when somebody struggles, you go and help. That is charity. That's not charity. Charity is eliminate the need for charity. Why orphanages? Why old age homes? What is wrong with this? Where are we fundamentally failing? Are we gathering as a group? Are we working towards betterment of that? We are working on we are patching problems. We are not eliminating problems. We are solving problems that are created. So charity's purpose is to eliminate problems, not to solve problems. That is how we should work towards. So that is why they say aram saya virumbu. They didn't say do aram. Aram saya virumbu means you should want to do aram, but there should be no opportunity to do aram. You should want to do some charity, but there should be no opportunity for charity. Such state is the best state for a society. A society that does not need charity. That comes only out of spiritual empowerment. That is where religion contributes. Go get access to the Supreme. As you approach towards Him, all your blemish will go off. You will get good qualities. When you get good qualities, you will transfer, you will transmit, you will exchange, you will share with others. It will spread across. Yatra ashtakshara samsiddho mahabhago mahiyate tatra na sancharisyanti vyadi durbhiksha taskara. Where such great people exist, such turmoil will not even dare to enter. Kali will be scared. Surakkum திருவும் உணர்வும் சொலப்புகில் வாய் அமுதம் பறக்கும் இருவினை பற்று அறவோடும் படியில் உள்ளீர் உரைக்கின்றனன் உமக்கையான் அறம் சீரும் உருகலியை துறக்கும் பெருமை ராமானுஜன் என்று சொல்லுவேன். Just by uttering Ramanuja, the most committed and sincere fashion, you can chase Kali like anything. That means simply saying Ramanuja, yes, even simply saying Ramanuja will work, provided you have faith in that. Then following Ramanuja Swami's principles and other things. Then when you approach, you will never feel that you are a donor. In charity, donor is actually the recipient. And the recipient is actually the donor. The donor gives some material benefit. And in return, he gets punya, which is spiritual benefit. So whoever comes and asks you something, you should immediately pay obeisance. You should do namaskara to them. That you have come here to give me such a great, spiritual benefit. And you should pay your gratitude towards them, celebrating their grace and God's grace. And that is what is our way of charity. So we have to do charity, all kind of charitable things, but when you do charity, validate it. Don't just send money. Sending this money is not charity. Contribution, donation is not charity. You should go to the grassroots and ensure that it is not abused, it's not misused. If that happens, then you are a party to that. So know what charity you are doing. And once you do charity, it should not be like somebody cannot keep asking for charity. You have to empower them. You have to ensure that they come out of that need for charity. That is very, very important. Every month I will give some money for this person. That's not what it is. For certain cases, yes. If somebody has lost their leg, nobody is there to support. That is really deserving. But again, how many people are giving? Who is coordinating the whole thing? How many entries? What if so many people are giving and things should be accounted. Things should be channelized. So approach the right people who can channelize those things and don't blindly give for some organization, this, that, and all, just like that. Inquire, get to know, and then contribute.
Adhiyendasan Swami. Swami, in this context, how much is individual responsibility versus shared responsibility with us? When we for example, when we are coordinating with others, can Devari share some insights on that?
Give me more details that you're so that I can understand what you're looking. I need more details.
So one is like when we do Kaingaryam or service, it's very easy, I think, to maybe it's hard. We can actually try to do one by one, case by case, and we find information, validate and do it ourselves. But there is also need when we're talking about Kaingaryam, like eliminating challenges like this or removing the need for charity itself. There is a need to coordinate on a larger scale with more like-minded individuals. And how do we create a construct like that, which is more of a shared responsibility rather than an individual responsibility? Could be like an NGO, for example.
See, shared responsibility itself is part of individual responsibility. A portion of your individual responsibility is that you also ensure somebody is eliminating charity means, as you rightly said, you have to work with others. Right? There are whistleblowers, wisdom club is there. Those things should be formed. Only with those, in many countries, they are all there. Think tanks. There is a separate group. They keep on publishing something in a very, in a regular interval, and all wonderful thoughts on how do we improve. They keep posting about reforms. What are the ways in which we can do reforms? So it's like a penance. You can't expect result overnight because see, at the end of the day, people are so materialistic. All said and done, they talk about corruption. There is corruption in this office, that office, but who is actually giving money? We are the people who are giving money, and we keep blaming them that they are not doing without giving money. What if you don't give? Stop giving money. It will take some time. You can't wait. So squarely it comes back to us only. Everywhere, if you see, the person to be blamed is the so-called the gentleman, common citizen. They are the party to all this thing. So it takes time, but it's a penance. The more you keep on doing this, there is something called as a peace club, peace universities, and international, peace organizations, international peace bureaus there, IPB, which has more Nobel laureates than United Nations. More Nobel laureates than United Nations has. IPB keeps on publishing so many things. They keep tracking so many, unnecessary, possibilities of war, and they are always against, arms. Don't develop arms. Don't develop missiles. Stop doing, disarmament. They are completely, an advocate of disarmament. They say, get your arms off, because someday or other it is like the person who has they say, right, that in Tamil they say, Sarangu. If you have that, you will feel like, doing like this. It itches and you feel like scratching it. So your hands will not keep quiet. Similarly, if you have missile, someday or other you will feel like, using it on somebody. So, they say, if you take a stick, you can't keep quiet. You will do something wrong. So disarmament, they are working towards that. Like that, so many groups are there. In India, there are so many groups are there. I think Shrivaishnavas should start participating, should start organizing this kind of things. It's high time that we get into that.
Adiyan Dasavathara. One thing Adiyan has experienced has led this. When I see a lot of the international think tanks and other things, they have their own agenda to a certain extent. Some are very altruistic. Some, even though when they start altruistic, they mix later on. They, depending on the people who join later, the altruism turns into a certain part of agenda which is aligned with something else. But as Devaris said, Srivaishnavas should probably start definitely our own initiators on this think tank. So hopefully
get empowered from the religious side, and then with that as the basis, then we should, see, we are not somebody who can do anything, but we can completely be a representative of the Supreme, and using that spiritual grace, we can, venture into those kind of groups. Another thing is, charity is different from Kainkariam. Okay, Kainkariam is something that we do for perumal, that is for Atma Swarupa. Charity is basically Samanya Dharma primarily. So we should not confuse between these two. What we are doing for temples, we think it is Kainkariya, but Kainkariya is, what is Kainkariya? Kainkariya means you do something without any expectation. And the only thing that in return that we expect for a Kainkariya is, we need more Kainkariya, more opportunity for Kainkariya. கொடுத்து கொள்ளாதே கொண்டத்துக்கு கைக்கூலி கொடுக்க வேண்டும். You have to give more, you have to get more opportunities. நான் 100,000 கொடுத்து பின்னும் ஆளும் செய். So if you do one vahana Kainkariya for one temple, the next thing that you should expect is that opportunity to do 10 vahanas, 100 vahanas. That's what is Kainkariya. So where we are only donors, that's not Kainkariya. We should expect more Kainkariya in return. But to begin with, for the beginners, that is also Kainkariya. But Kainkariya is more into the spiritual side. Charity is on the social side.
Adiyan Dasavathara. Dhanyaswami.
Adiyan Swami, what is the difference between Arthanusandhanam and just doing Parayana of any mantra, whether it is Dvaya mantra or Emperor's Namantra Namam?
Arthanusandhanam versus Parayanam. You don't say Parayanam first mantras. For mantras, it is japa. For stotras, it is parayana. For stotras, it is parayana. Except for few cases where, for example, Vishnu Sahasranama is actually a japa. Vishnu Sahasranama is mantra, but it's so many mantras in a sequence. So it is also the form of stuti. So it is also known as Vishnu Sahasranama Parayana. So you can do Parayanam, you can do Japam, right? It's a unique this thing. Otherwise, generally like Tirumantram, Dvayam and all, it's mantra. So you do Japa or you do Arthanusandana. Arthanusandana is knowing the Artha and contemplating on that. Japa is not contemplating on Artha, counting. How many times? Keep on counting. Focusing on the count. 1 crore times, 2 crore times. If I say, I'll get this siddhi. So that is for upasakas. Nothing wrong. It's a different track. It's a little lower than.
But without expecting anything, if we say as a kalakshipam, poluthupoku, chanting Dvaya mantram and Acharyan's mantram without expecting anything, how does
you can't, because Acharya's name, when you utter Acharya's name, what should happen to you is what we just mentioned, that pasaram. Surakkum tiruvum unarvum. Solappugil vai amudam parakkum. Iruvinai patru aravum. 108 pasarams are only gunanusandhanam of the Ramanuja name. Solluvom avan namangale. Greatness of Sri Rama. When you say Ramanuja, every pasaram should come to you. Allalukku nere ivrodam நான் வந்து நீ என்னை உயிர்த்த பின் நிறைய தொழில் நிறைய தழுந்திட்டேனே வந்து ஆட்கொண்ட பின் மயக்கம் இருவினை வல்லியல் கொண்டு மதிமயங்கி துயக்கும் பிறவில் தோன்றிய என்னை துயரகற்றி உயர்கொண்டு நல்குகிறான். You only came. I never even thought about you. I had no business with you. With such a unconditional grace, you came. And not only you just came, you came, sat in my heart, in my mind, in my eyes. You who cannot be praised even by great people. I have not done anything good at all. And you, even for great people, they find it hard to even compose a line about you. Such is your greatness. But you have chosen this nature. Such is your greatness. These are all the things should come when you just tell Ramanuja. Just that name. So when you say your Acharya's name, you should be able to relate to all the experiences that you have with that Acharya. Which means you should be always contemplating on Acharya's charitra, vaibhava. That's why Guru Parampara reading is very important. Because when you say Ramanuja, that Ramanuja who was called as Emperor, that Ramanuja who hugged this Uranga Vilidasar, that Ramanuja who went and transformed Emba, that Ramanuja who went to Melkote and established this temple, Selvapillai, everything. Every time you say Ramanuja, this thing should come. This is Arthanusandana. It's not like Ram means this, Ma means this, No means this, Ja means this.
But for only advanced people, like who have internalized Swami's charitram, and for those people they can relate. For beginners, how does this?
For beginners, that's what I'm saying. For beginners start with japa. They keep on counting at least 100 times, 200 times, like the 108, 260, whatever it is. Any number of any count, of 108. Any multiple of 108. That's what they say. But if you want to enjoy, do Gunanusandhana. If you want to do Gunanusandhana, see, Arthanusandhana is different, Gunanusandhana is different. What I'm talking about is, when it comes to Acharyan's name, we call it as mantra, but we do Gunanusandhana. When it comes to Tirumantra, we first do Arthanusandhana. Once we do Arthanusandhana, then the Pratipadya, that is Sriman Narayana, Shri and Narayana, that Dhanpati, we contemplate upon them. Their Gunanusandhana we do. So first step is Arthanusandhana, then is Gunanusandhana. When it comes to Sri Ramanuja's name, directly you get into Gunanusandhana. Ramanuja Vrindadi is Gunanusandhana, 108. It's Prapanna Gayatri. What more we want? That's the highest. I don't think we need anything, any other. See, any other name will again refer to Ramanuja only. Chammin Chudamudi and Thirumaluku Chemme. Whatever Acharya's name you say, they are all Karana Bhutas of Ramanujacharya. When Ramanujacharya is readily accessible to Ramanuja Vrindadi, why we should strain and try to tell any other thing? Ramanujacharya in Aarthi Prabandham very clearly says, keep reciting his Anuprandadi. That is enough. That's what he says. Swami says. Every time you hear it is bliss. Ramanuja Anuprandadi is such a wonderful composition. Extraordinary composition.
I didn't have heard from scholars like saying the Shrivaishnavas நிலைக்கணும் அப்படின்னா திருவாய்மொழி அனுசந்தானம் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா ஸ்ரீவைஷ்ணவத்துவம் நிலைக்கும் அப்படின்னு மாதிரி சொல்றாங்க.
True. See, at the end of the day, there are various levels, different types of people. Bhakti Paravashyatal Prapannar Alvar. Nobody can become Alvar. Alvars are Alvars. Even Purvacharyas are no match for Alvars except Embramanar, who is on top of Alvars. Embramanar is separate. We cannot bring Embramanar in par with others. When it comes to Varavaramuni, he is even on top of Embramanar. So keeping these two who are the same, separate. Purvacharyas, they themselves, it's not me who is saying. Swami Pillayohacharya very clearly said, Jnanadhikyatal Prapannar Purvacharyargal. And for us, Ajnanatal Prapannar Asmadadigal. So depending upon different people's ability, some people, they venture into the jnana. For them, they have to learn through Vaimuli. If you are capable, you have to learn. Completely know about it. For those who don't have that level, but who can just have faith, just Ramanuja is enough. Nache Ramanuja Tesha Chatura Chaturakshit. So such a simple thing is there, such a highest thing is there. There are different people at different levels. One can recite Kadani Kirtangu, one can recite Ramanuja Vrindadi, one can recite Thiruvaimuli, one can recite Naladev Vrindam, one can recite Shivashyam, the other one can completely go through Yidu Kalakshepam. So depending upon their level of interest and capability, if you have the capability and interest, you have to do. You should not say, I can't understand, but I don't want to. It's simply, this is there, no, I can do. You should not say that. So for example, Acharya Purushas, they cannot skip Thiruvaimuli. They have to undergo Srivashya Kalakshepam and Yidu Kalakshepam. Without Veda Dhyanam, without Srivashya Kalakshepam, without Arulichel Adhyanam, without Kalakshepam of all Vyakyanas and Rahasyas, Acharya Purushas cannot claim that Ubhaya Vedanta Simhasanadipati, that Adhikaram. That is what Swami Ramanuja has appointed them as. So they are Simhasanadipati, means Ubhaya Vedanta Simhasanadipatis. That is why it's Ubhaya Vedanta. That is Dravida Veda, which is Thiruvaimuli and the Kalakshepa, Yidu Kalakshepa, and the Samskrita Vedam and the respective Brahma Sutra and Sribhashya. Why we Acharyas have to know it? Because if somebody is coming and questioning them, if they are challenging, they should be able to counter them. We follow Ramanuja, we don't care what you follow, we cannot come for argument. You can't say that. That is the very job of Acharyas. If they say that, the disciples will lose faith and they'll say, he doesn't know anything. What are we following? Many people will leave. That's so many people have left. So Parashara Bhatta had to know everything. But there was one Shrivaishnava who just, he used to attend Kalakshepam. And he didn't know anything. Many people were, the other people were very much, they are just feeling that why Swami is waiting for this person to attend the Kalakshepam every time. So one day, then Swami said, okay, let us do some vichara. Who is Paramatma as per Vedas? Then everybody started saying, Paramatma, Shiva eva Kevalaha, Rudra could be Paramatma, Brahma could be, Vishnu could be, Indra could be, this, that. So Vedas says so many things. They kept on discussing all these things as per Vedas. Then finally, this Shrivaishnava came. So Swami said, what about you? Oh, I thought this is Parashara Lotus Swami's scholarship group. Is it something else that I am attending to? Don't we all know that Paramatma is perumal? Is there anything else to discuss? Then they all felt, so pathetic about the way they thought about this Swami, because they thought that he didn't know anything. But he knew exactly what needs to be known. He knew that perumal is supreme. Whereas once they were told that what is, you do vichara in Vedas, they went into their scholarly mode and started doing vichara based on their erudition, wasting their time. But it doesn't mean that everybody can sacrifice everything and get into this simple way of doing things. Or everybody should stop simple way of approaching Perumal and Acharyas and only go to Srivaišnavas and the Thiruvaimozhi. Different people at different levels. You should know what is your level out of your interest. If you feel like learning it, you have to learn it. The concept is you should know the essence. At the end of the day, even for Thiruvaimozhi, you should know what Thiruvaimozhi talks about. Thiruvaimozhi is Vivaranam of Dvayam. It very clearly talks about what is Upayam, what is Upayam, and how should an adhikari be, prapanna should be. So when it comes to kalakshepam, that is, once you know everything and once you have reached a particular stage, then for your kalakshepam, what we are talking about is people get into Ramanuja, Dadi, Guru Dhanacharya, Uttara Dhanacharya, Kannadu Chiruthambu, Tirupavai. So different people adapt different things. That is for your Nitya Anusandhana and Kalakshepa. What you are talking about is Vaishnavatva Siddhi. For that you need the Rahasyatraya Kalakshepa, which is the essence of Thiruvaimozhi. In fact, if you want Vaishnavatva Siddhi, it should be Shrivaishanavas Kalakshepa. Nothing less than that. Real Vaishnavatva Siddhi. To really know who is an Acharya, what is the purpose of Sakshat Phalaike Lakshmi, what is Sakshat Phalam for an Acharya? What about Shishya? What are their roles, responsibilities? Very clear definitions. Extraordinary composition. Shrivaishanavas is number one. No wonder Swami has composed 7 wonderful hymns on Udesaratamala. He has not given that much of importance to any other Grantha other than Shrivaishanavas.
Adiyan Swami. Adiyan Dhanurdasa.
Adiyan Swami, Swami, for the Jabam, for Dvayam and Charama Slokam, is there any rules? You just do them chanting only in the morning or afternoon or evening, or is there any specific times we can only do the Jabam, or it's...
If you want to do it as a Japam, you have to follow Mantra Shastra. You have to go through Mantra Shastra where you need the dik, you have to do dik bandhanam, you have to do anganyasa, karanyasa, you have to see the time, and you should be pure. That means snanam should have been done, you should have done achamanam, you should do pranayama. All those prakarams, everything is there. Everything is there if you want to do it as a Japam.
Okay. Then if you just contemplation we can do anytime.
See, that's what I'm saying. Immediately you should not say that, okay, then I will just only do contemplation. If you are capable of doing all these things, you have to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Capable of that. The only thing is, as you do Japam also, you can contemplate. But if you think merely by telling this many number of times, you will get some power, you are putting some effort, that's where you should be careful. You will become an upasaka. Japtavyam dvayam. You have to do dvayam as japam, but the meaning there is arthanasandana. Ramanuja, if you chant, that is japam. It's prapanna gayatri. It's 108 Ramanuja namams. You are doing japam only.
Okay.
So mantra shastra japam is for upasakas. Prapannas also do japam. That is contemplation. Whether you want to be a upasaka or whether you want to be a prapanna, you should be very clear. If you say you are a prapanna, then you should live like a prapanna. Prapanna anushthanam should be there. Merely for the sake of simplified, anusandhanam, you cannot adopt prapanna nishtha. Prapanna nishtha should spontaneously come. That means you should sarvasanga parityagam, sarvadharman parityajya. You have to leave everybody, everything, and become. You should do absolute sharanagati, not this so-called modern day sharanagati to acharyas, going there getting purchases. That's not sharanagati. That's hardly a scintillation of real sharanagati. That's initiation into sharanagati path. That's all.
But how to
That's
understand this, Swami? Then how can we chant? Like just by thinking him smaranai, like thinking Swami Emberumanar, and daily routine activities that we are doing and chanting the mantra without expecting anything. So how does it is?
Don't chant. Don't chant. If it doesn't occur to you, don't chant. See, some people are made for that. They are upasakas. For them, they can chant for hours together. If you can't even think of doing that, don't get into that. Why do you want to venture into it? Don't do that. Only think about their wife.
I didn't have I can understand, Swami, but I didn't have the habit of doing like when I do cooking or normal like sannidhi, other kainkariams. I'll be just doing the anusandhanam. So without expecting, just doing that itself is kainkariam. That's it. So is that the right way?
Anusandhanam, that's what it is. You keep thinking only about him all the time. Whatever work you do, work will be done by the body as a service to him, and mind will be only thinking about him.
Some say like even it's just like the conversation that recently happened. That's why I'm asking so many questions on that again and again. If we do the aruli like people are saying like if we keep on doing the artha anusandhanam, we cannot even move half a line. Then how can we do the Goshti Seva Kalam and Aruli in
That's why I said some people are made for Goshti. They can only recite. They cannot do Anusandhanam. If you do Anusandhanam, you cannot. Uyarvara Venalam, Kuratava could not cross that line. He could not cross that line. He could not cross first line. In Kalakshepam itself, that is real Kalakshepam. That is the state we want to attain. That is the state we want to attain. But some people are interested. See, you have to engage everybody, right? You cannot say if you are not doing Anusandhanam, no, you should not recite. Some people are so interested in only by-hearting, memorizing, and just reciting all the time. So be it. Because of their vasana, they had upasana vasana. From there, they have now come into that. Next stage, they will come. We should not worry about that, or we should not talk ill of them. That is their state. Let it be. They have their own reasons for that.
But during Utsavadi Kalam itself, like Adhyayana Kalam in the temple, we do the recitation. That is the format like that we do for perumal as Mangala Sasanam. So how it is?
Recitation and all these recitations in those days, Thiruvaimozhi means only Aryas in temples. Nobody else can do. Every temple had Arya. Pillai Tirunariyur Arya, Thirukkannapurat Arya, Varam Perumal Arya in Kanchipuram, Thirugallikeni Thirupan Perumal Arya. Nobody else other than Aryas can recite Thiruvaimozhi in front of Perumal. They will recite it only in Arya Seva, which means Arthanusandhanam only. Not simply telling something.
So how about like before Vahana Utsavadi?
Even in the Yel Goshti, in those days, when they recite Pasurams, they were in such an advanced stage, they used to do Anusandhanam only, not merely tell and all. Vedam itself, when they chant, they used to do Anusandhanam. You know why? They say that the person who is telling Vedas, Sutirthat Agatam, Vyaktam, Swamna Yam, Suvyavasthitam, Suswarena, Suvakrena, Prayuktam Brahmarajate. Vedas, they feel so happy when they come out of the right people, great people's mouth, because they will do arthanusandana. Those who do not learn Vedas without artha, Giti, Shigri, Chirakampi, Tatha Likita Patakaha, Anarthagyo, Alpakantascha, Shadete, Pathakadhamaha. They are the worst students, Vedas say, who learn Vedas and recite them as music in their own way. If you see in many temples, they recite in their own way, some singing like that and all. Giti, you should not do that. Shigri, just reciting fast, you should not do that. Shirakampi, while telling the swaram, saying like this and this, or shaking the hands. Sahasra Zirusha, Purusha, shaking hands or shaking head. You should not do that. Tatha Likhita Patakaha, you should not read Veda from books and recite. You get cursed from Vedas. These are all not what I am saying. This is there in that shloka. Tatha Likhita Patakaha, Anarthagyo, the one who does not know Artham and reciting. Alpakantascha, who is telling with feeble voice. All these 6 people are Pathaka Damaha. They are the worst students. They always fail. What we do today is we are just blindly telling it, but it's okay. At least they are beginners. It's okay. There might be people who are doing Anusandana. What is wrong with that? I know so many people in Goshti, the moment they say Indre Kadal Kandain, when it comes, they will turn towards Perumal and do like this. Indre Kadal Kandain, Edvira Kumyan Arthi, they will do like this. When that Perumal's pasaram or something comes, immediately they will turn, they will do this. Tears will come in their eyes. There are people like that. But time limit, setting that, see, that's why I said this culture of Goshti at homes, this America and Australia, these are some, you, just for the sake of satisfying your own some guilt only, most of the many of the people are doing it. You should not do that. You should you should dedicate time. It should be in a very, you should take time. It should be gradual and should be pleasant. It should not be for the sake of we have to finish it. It should not be like that. But unfortunately, it's like that. What we can do. It's okay.
Just by Sabda Shakti. Sabda Shakti, they say Sabda Shakti. Is that like without knowing, nobody knows initially when they learn Arulichel?
Sabda Shakti and all those things. It will work only in, as I told you, if a person is capable, a person who is having 1 lakh rupees and contributing 100, a person who is having only 100 rupees but contributing 100. If you see between these two, the second person is the one who is very close to Perumal when it comes to charity. And the first person is fit for nothing. But if he says, I have also done charity, okay, you will get 1 mark, but 1 is not pass. 1 is not pass. You get 1 or 2 marks. You won't even pass the exam. Similarly, Shabda Shakti means when you are capable, when you have been given this birth only for this purpose, and saying, at least Shabda Shakti will do, it won't work. Because you are doing so many other things that are negating this. When you are bedridden, when you can do nothing, even your mouth doesn't even work, you are paralyzed, and you still say, Govinda, you know what weightage it has? So Perumal will do only 2 things. Either you will be given wonderful opportunity like this birth and other things, so that you can tell wonderful things. But when you trim down yourself saying only Shabda Shakti will, that itself will do, Perumal will reduce your birth, put you onto bed, or next birth you will be given that opportunity, because only Shabda Shakti, no, for that whatever limitations, I will pull out all the other plugs. So we cannot say that Shabda Shakti will work. Shabda Shakti will work in crisis. It will work in crisis. When you don't know what to say, at least something you are saying. Kundrane kutram seyyanam gunam kollum endru mudalaga ennenje Endrum Puranuriye Ainum Purnadi Kayam Tiranuriye Siddhithu. Means, okay, Puranuri is more than enough. Can we say that Kayar Sakaratan Kayam Garmanik means Poye Kayu Soli? So I will tell only lie. For those who don't even know that they are lying, if they lie, that is acceptable. When you know what is lie, and if you still say, Alvar himself told, I will lie, that is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Vyasa has very clearly said, Shaktam, Ashaktam. What is Shaktam? You should know what you are capable. When you know what is your capability, and if you play it down, Perumal will also play it down. You will bring down your capabilities. You can't mess around with Perumal like that. Given this opportunity, spend your full time on this. That's the mandate.
Then you
I hope it is. I know, but I apologize if I sounded very rude. It's just that I'm telling the truth. It may sound a little bitter, but it's what it is. We can't keep on trimming down everything and say, then Munnadi Pinnadi. What is Munnadi Pinnadi? And all in those days it was not there. So they even published books on Munnadi Pinnadi. This is atrocious. Atrocious. Munnadi Pinnadi, why you should say Munnadi Pinnadi? What is it that you don't have time for Avlichal that you have for something else? Why can't you sacrifice that and come for this? It is only it's all guilt, just satisfying our own guilt is saying something will start and end. Adhyantam is there. There is some shortcuts is there. Those are all given for some specific context. That itself becomes day-to-day routine. Perumal will also just show moksham and bring you back. Just a glimpse.
Adiyan, Danyosmi Swami. Adiyan. Anjana Mamalai Piravi Adharitton Vaழியே அணியரங்கர் மனத்தூணை அடைந்து இந்தோன் வாழியே வஞ்சிநகரம் தன்னில் வாழ வந்தோன் வாழியே மாசிதனில் புனர்பூசம் வந்துதித்தான் வாழியே அஞ்சலெனக் குடப்பாம்பில் அங்கு இட்டான் வாழியே அனவரதம் ராம கதை அருளும் அவன் வாழியே செஞ்சொல் மொழி நூற்றெஞ்சும் செப்பினான் வாழியே சேரலர் கோன் செங்கமலத் திருவடிகள் வாழியே. ஆழ்வார் பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவிலேசனம் Shrimate Ramanuja Munidaya Mahatmai Sri Rangavasini Buyad Nityashri Nityamangalam.
There are two questions in this chat. In the morning, when you are saying Vedam and you have school, can you say fast? So instead you come back and then say the Vedam. Don't say it fast for the sake of it. Go to school, come back, or wake up a little early, maybe half an hour early. Because you can say, but if I say that, then that will become the routine for you. You'll always get into that. Another one is, please guide how to learn Shrivaishanavas. Narayana and Rangan. Rangan, I will talk to you directly. I'll tell what is the step for that.